negotiations are now complete. Our work is not.
LMPD and the Department of Justice have announced a historic consent decree, part of continued work to overhaul the embattled department. We have a full look, including reaction from some people impacted in the community. The man found guilty of murder after a crash involving a family visiting Louisville could learn his sentence today. A look back at that case ahead of that court hearing. And how is Louisville navigating the ups and downs of the housing crisis? A new report details the changes in the industry and some recommendations for the future.
Now, Wave News Sunrise.
Hi there. This is a very busy weekend for a lot of people as people will be heading out, trying to get those last-minute things done. And how's the weather going to look for that?
Well, for parts of the weekend, it will be great for anybody running any errands.
What part is that?
The first half. The second half of the weekend is the time frame that you want to make sure you're sitting inside and just hanging out, because that's when more of that rain will be coming our way. Now, what we're dealing with right now, temperature-wise, is 20s across the area. So basically everybody below the freezing mark, with a couple of exceptions. Lebanon, you're at 36 degrees, 32 into Litchfield and Campbellsville as well. So you're going to be keeping an eye on those of you warmer to the south, but everybody still cold as you're heading out this morning. The storm tracker out on the roads, and we are not seeing any issues currently on 65 heading southbound, about to head towards Arthur Street. So certainly traffic is flowing smoothly. I haven't seen any reports of any incidents so far this morning, so that is a good way for to start off our Friday morning. These upper level clouds continue to stream on, and we, yes, will get some of that sunshine filtering through the clouds for the morning and even into the afternoon as we start to add in those mid-level clouds. But still, even though we have the clouds overhead, we're staying dry for your Friday. While we are starting off today with temperatures in the 20s, we'll end up in the 40s for your highs for later on this afternoon. And for those of you who are like, I want warmer weather, well, you'll get it over the weekend with 50s for highs for both Saturday and Sunday. Now, once we head into Saturday night, the rain will start to roll in. We'll keep that widespread rain around for Sunday morning. Now, once we get into Sunday afternoon and evening, those rain chances will start to drop off a bit. We'll get a little bit of dry time Sunday night before we do it all again rain-wise heading into Monday and on your Tuesday.
This decree will not create change on its own. It requires people. The dedicated men and women of LMPD are the driving force behind progress. With hard work combined with strong leadership and community collaboration, we will succeed. Public safety is an equity issue. Everyone deserves to feel safe and supported and protected by their police department. We are taking more steps towards ensuring that that vision becomes reality.
Louisville Metro Police and the Department of Justice setting new standards for officers and their service. A consent decree, a more than 200-page federal agreement containing a plan for the future of policing in the city of Louisville. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg promising an aggressive approach to meet reform goals outlined with an independent inspector tracking progress. This agreement has been in the works for 9 months. It's a unique plan for the city. The decree aims to correct a number of issues the department has had in the past. That includes use of excessive force, conducting and executing baseless warrants, discriminating against certain groups, and violating the rights of the public. The decree also looks at how reports of sexual misconduct will be handled within the department itself. And now that this consent decree has been signed and filed, many people are wondering what is next. We have news reporter Marissa Burke in the studio to explain the next steps.
The city is looking for an independent monitor. They've already put out bids. This person will be a neutral party that will generate reports and guides the city and LMPD to meet the consent decree requirements. The consent decree is a legal agreement on reforms. LMPD has been making changes, and this 242-page agreement will make sure those efforts continue and build on each other. The city is looking for an independent monitor to make sure the department reaches its benchmarks. Some of the changes include police will be gathering racial data on who they stop in a car or walking on the street, whether they were searched, and whether that search turned up contraband. The monitor will have access to that information and make reports.
This has to be more than just words on a page. It is a promise to our officers and our professional staff that we are going to lead them and support them the right way without fail. It is a promise to our community that we are responsive to their needs, and we will remain committed to creating an agency that values self-improvement.
A judge will decide whether LMPD has met the requirements of the consent decree. Other cities that have entered a consent decree took at least 6 or more years. Louisville's is an aggressive timeline of 5 years. At the end of all of this, the Justice Department believes that LMPD will be a model for constitutional policing. Marissa Burke, Wave News.
Thanks, Marissa. And the Department of Justice will host a virtual community meeting Monday night to talk about the consent decree. It's a Zoom meeting. It starts at 7:30. You can find the link to register on wave3.com. The new consent decree is bringing hope of change to people who have been mistreated by LMPD officers in the past. We heard from a local attorney whose arrest was one of many incidents of excessive force the Department of Justice highlighted in its scathing report of LMPD last year. When Douglas Miller was pulled over in April 2019. An officer suspected him of driving under the influence. When Miller hesitated when asked to take a breathalyzer test, in seconds he was thrown to the ground. An officer used a one-hand chokehold on Miller, and then another kneeled on his neck. The consent decree outlines de-escalation tactics that officers must use before using force. Miller says it will take more than policies to regain the public's trust.
De-escalation policies are already in effect. They have a 1,200-page manual. That's already what they're supposed to do. The problem is when someone complains, it's covered up. You have the police policing the police.
Miller pled guilty to speeding after the incident, and all other charges were dropped. The consent decree includes several requirements for LMPD policy to prevent conflicts of interest or interference when it comes to police misconduct investigations. LMPD has been at the center of calls for reform since Breonna Taylor was shot and killed in 2020 during a police raid and the protests that followed her death. Taylor's mother, Tamika Palmer, was at the news conference when the mayor announced the consent decree. She says she wants to see the changes made, and what she needs most from LMPD is accountability.
I haven't been very confident. I mean, I'm on the other side of this thing. My daughter lost her life to get here, so I'm not very confident. And we have a history of putting things on paper and not moving the needle, so we have to stay on top of the situation and definitely make sure that they are doing just what they say that they are doing. And again,
Palmer says she wants to be part of the process to select the independent monitor who will track LMPD's progress. To see more coverage of the consent decree, you can download the Wave News app. You can see videos and how we got to this point. We also have the latest updates sent right to your phone. We now know the name of a Louisville teen who was shot and killed earlier this week. The county coroner says the victim is 17-year-old Tara Neal. Police say Neal was shot and killed on West Kentucky Street near California Park Wednesday night. LMPD is still looking for the shooter. If you know anything about who that person could be, contact LMPD. 2 people are now charged after a road rage shooting on I-65 in southern Indiana. That includes the suspect and the man who was shot. Police say the shooting happened after Casey Haven and Ricky Hill got into a miles-long side-swiping road rage clash near Henryville last Friday. Instead of pulling over, police say both of them pulled out a gun and made gestures at each other. They got off at the Memphis exit, and police say Haven shot Hill in the arm. She's facing several charges, including battery with a deadly weapon and criminal recklessness. Hill is charged with intimidation with a deadly weapon and aggressive driving. The man found guilty of murder after hitting a family at a Louisville crosswalk could learn how long he'll spend in prison today. In October, a jury found Michael Hurley guilty on multiple charges, including murder and assault. This after he crashed his car into the Jones family while they were visiting Louisville for a basketball tournament. Trey Jones, the father, died. Their daughter Ava Jones, who had been a star basketball recruit before the accident, and mother Amy were left with serious injuries. The jury previously recommended he serve 35 years for murder and 20 years on each count of assault in the first degree, all to run consecutively. That's 75 years total. They also found Hurley guilty as a prior felony offender. He was on probation from drug charges when he hit the Jones family while high on fentanyl. New on Sunrise, a new report is outlining the housing needs for Louisville Metro and Jefferson County. The 2024 Metropolitan Housing Report found since 2019, higher home prices and mortgage rates have driven up mortgage payments by 74%. That's about $690 more. The report found there are a little more than 350,000 housing units in Jefferson County, but the need for more options is there. The report makes the case for zoning changes that can create more middle-class housing.
And we will keep fighting for fair, accessible, and affordable housing, which is possible through what we've been talking about, an equitable land development code. So join us in this effort.
The report also found the median average price for a single-family home has increased by 26% since 2020. Here's Tawana taking a look at the next 12 hours.
And as we head over the next 12, we're going to climb into the 40s as some clouds roll in overhead. Looking ahead to the weekend, we do have some rain pushing our way, but that's just the first batch of rain showing up in the 10-day. I'll let you know about all the rounds of rain coming our way after the break.
It's 6:10 and coming up, we will tell you about a stretch of Baxter Avenue and Bardstown Road that's undergone a transformation. Details on the project include why so many thought it was necessary ahead. And the shopping days are ticking down as we get closer to Christmas. How you can find some deals this weekend coming up.
Now, Wave News.
It's 6:13 right now, and you can do some holiday shopping this weekend. Hundreds of vendors are at the Kentucky Expo this weekend. It's free to get in. Josh Ninke is there at the Christmas Gift and Decor Show. Oh, I can't wait to see what you're showing us now.
Jen, we got some great ornaments to show off, something to add to the tree for this year and for years to come. I've got Libby joining us here this morning. Libby, you guys have been coming to the show for a while. Tell me a little bit about what you guys make here.
So we hand make our bread dough ornaments for 44 years.
Nice.
My mom started the business. She's 84. She still runs it. You know, I try to help. And then we have been designing ornaments for one of the resin companies that sold all over the world for 15 years.
Oh, wow. That's very cool.
Yeah.
We've got, let's take a quick look at some of the things you got right here. Some very nice Christmas that you can personalize, right?
We personalize right here.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes a second. People like that. They don't like waiting or having to come back. So we personalize all the names, last name, anything you want, dog's name.
Fantastic. Let's keep showing off some of these because you've got one that's particularly selling out pretty quickly. What do we have right here?
Taylor Swift.
Of course.
Taylor Swift. We don't have very many left because this is one of our last shows, but she goes great for all the girls and ladies, let me tell you.
Yeah, well, I bet that's right up my wife's ankle. Yeah. I also wanted to ask you, what is one of the most popular ones that you guys have selling out now?
So this year is our Grinch family.
Yeah.
And it comes in 0, like you can just buy it for somebody, and it goes up to 6 people. I think we're still putting out the 6th one. So that's real cute. You personalize on the hats, and then the last name on the banner.
So cool. We got a...
Oh, here's a sample.
Yeah, fell right on the camera. Perfect. Very nice. And so obviously you've got all the families with the Grinch, but you've got weddings, babies, kind of any life event you guys can commemorate right here.
Yes. Yes, it's all special occasion.
Yeah.
But most of our customers are annual.
Yeah.
So they have been coming back year after year. That's why we've been in business so long.
That's awesome.
I mean, I've become friends with a lot of them. Some of them have done a show with me and worked with me because they've been buying ornaments so long, and I want to do this. And
yeah. Some fantastic ornaments that you're seeing right here. The show runs all throughout the weekend. Kicks off today at 11 a.m. Free to come check out all this stuff. I want you to stick around. We've got one more booth to show you coming up in the next half hour. Live here at the Expo. Josh Ninke, Wave News.
Thank you, Josh. Those are adorable. Oh my goodness, so cute. But Josh only has 2 arms to carry everything.
Oh no, they got a cart. They're fine.
Yes, okay.
I think roll out of there with everything we purchased this morning. For those of you heading out this morning, you certainly want to grab the jacket, the coat yet again, as we're seeing temperatures in the 20s across our region. 28 degrees in Munfordville, but it is 20 in Seymour, 25 in Frankfort, 23 in Paoli, and there are a couple of locations south of the Parkway still holding on to those low 30s. In the metro, basically seeing only 20s for this morning. 21 degrees in Sellersburg, 27 at the airport in Louisville, but it's 24 degrees for those of you in Springhurst and into St. Matthews. The storm tracker out and about this morning, traveling through the metro, and notice not much going on. I've also noticed that traffic has been very light. Is everybody just hitting snooze this morning? I completely understand that. Yeah, currently traveling back towards downtown Louisville, and notice things quiet, calm weather-wise to start off the day. But we are seeing more of those upper-level clouds drifting on in, which means, yes, we will get some filtered sunshine throughout the day, but those clouds will gradually take over, really just riding along this front that is sitting directly over us here in Wave Country. So for your Friday, we'll see those increasing clouds, temperatures climbing into the 40s for your highs. For those of you south of the parkways, can't rule out a couple of spots trying to get towards that 50-degree mark. Now, as we get into later on tonight, some of these clouds will clear out. It will be chilly yet again, falling down into the 20s and the low 30s. As we look ahead to the next 10 days, we do have a lot going on. Starting off on your Saturday. Saturday morning, the clouds will start to roll right back in. By Saturday night, here comes that rain ramping up and taking over our region. Now, the best opportunity for the widespread rain will be Saturday night into early on your Sunday. But as we get throughout your Sunday, a lot of these showers will gradually become more and more scattered. So as you're heading out for the evening hours and then Sunday night, excuse me, this is when we'll see some more of the drier conditions before another round of rain moves in. On your Monday, we'll watch that rain pushing in for your Monday morning commute, keeping these rounds of rain throughout the majority of our Monday before we finally dry out, getting into Tuesday morning. Once we get into Tuesday afternoon, some sunshine looking to come back into our forecast then. It looks like we'll see around 1 to 2 inches of widespread rain, with a few spots getting some locally higher totals, as will be expected as we see those multiple rounds of rain in the forecast. Once you get past your Tuesday afternoon, we'll see highs in the 50s then, so a little bit cooler, and we'll get into the 40s and then eventually the 30s as we get towards the end of next week, and that will come along with also multiple chances for rain and even some snow. So our Wednesday system moves in for the second half of your Wednesday. That'll bring some rain showers, it looks like, as of right now. Another low looks to ride along the East Coast, bringing not just some rain chances for parts of our region, but as moisture wraps around that low, we could see some snow trying to show up towards Friday and Saturday of next week. Now, the question is, how much of that snow will actually make it into our region? That'll be fully dependent on the tracks of these systems, so a lot to watch for the end of next week. But overall, that general trend for next week is to cool us down, dropping our highs back down into the 20s and low 30s by the following weekend.
Here's a look at the current Kentucky Lottery jackpots. The Kentucky Lottery, over $5 billion in grants and scholarships.
A once dangerous stretch of Baxter Avenue and Bardstown Road in Louisville has undergone a dramatic transformation to help improve safety for pedestrians. We're talking about the stretch from East Broadway to Eastern Parkway, also known as the Baxter Avenue Bardstown Road corridor. From 2013 to 2018, the corridor averaged 1 crash per day, including 7 pedestrian-related crashes a year. The $1.5 million redesign project was led by the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. New data reports show the work has helped drop crashes by 50%. The redesign brought several key improvements, including enhanced crosswalks and protected left turn lanes. A developer in New Albany is looking to build a new subdivision on Camer Miller Road. Our partners at the News and Tribune report Robert Lynn Company Incorporated is pursuing plans to build 57 single-family lots there. The city's Planning and Zoning Department says if the Plan Commission approves the proposal, it can then hear the developer's subdivision request. If it is not approved, the subdivision request is void, and then it will not be heard. All right, let's take a look at the next 10 days right now with Tawana.
Yeah, and we're going to be starting off with mild temperatures as we get into the weekend. So some 40s for today with those clouds overhead. Tomorrow, 50s around. We're going to keep those highs in the 50s for Sunday, even into Monday. Now, the rain moves in Saturday night, sticks with us on Sunday, and then we'll see more rounds of rain Monday into Tuesday of next week. Now, that rain on Tuesday mainly looks to be in the morning with some sunshine trying to show up by your Tuesday afternoon. The end of next week is when things really start to change. We could see some rain and snow coming our way with multiple systems moving across the eastern half of the country. With that also comes those colder temperatures. By the end of the 10-day, we could be dealing with highs only in the 20s yet again, with lows in the teens, and of course some snow showers trying to come our way. So a lot to watch over the next 10 days.
Thanks, Tawana. Sean Diddy Combs is now accused of sexually assaulting 3 men in new lawsuits filed yesterday. According to the lawsuits, the alleged sexual assaults took place between 2019 and 2022 at 2 Manhattan hotels and Diddy's home in East Hampton. The men claim they were given drinks they believe were laced with drugs and then were later sodomized by Combs. The 3 lawsuits were filed anonymously. In a statement, Combs' attorney said the lawsuits were, quote, full of lies. The attorney for the 3 plaintiffs say the lawsuits, quote, enables the survivors to regain the power and dignity that was stripped from them by Sean Combs. New details are emerging about the suspected shooter who allegedly gunned down United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. NYPD says there's no indication Luigi Mangione was ever a client of United Healthcare, but his alleged writings show general anger toward big corporations. NYPD detectives say Mangione does make mention that United Healthcare is the 5th largest corporation in America. A United Health spokesman also confirmed Mangione was not insured by United Healthcare. If you own a Stanley travel mug, listen up. More than 2.5 million have now been recalled due to a potential burn hazard caused by a faulty lid. The recall involves all switchback and trigger action stainless steel travel mugs sold in the U.S. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says threads in the lids may shrink when exposed to heat, causing the lid to then fall off during use. The CPSC says there have been 16 reports in the U.S. of recalled mugs' lids detaching during use, and that led to 2 burn injuries. The affected mugs are in 12, 16, and 20-ounce sizes. They were sold between June 2016 and December of this year at various retailers, including Walmart, Target, and Amazon. 6:27, more details ahead on the consent decree to reform LMPD, what the next steps going forward look like, and how some feel about the progress ahead on Wave News Sunrise.
Now, Wave News Sunrise.
Hi, good Friday morning, 6:30. You know it's Friday the 13th. Let's head outside to the Weather Garden. That's where Tawana Andrew is right now and has a feel out there.
It's chilly. It's cold, Shannon.
I know. Yes. I'm glad it's you out there and not me.
I don't like the cold, but I'm going to come out here for you. Out here in the Weather Garden, we are, definitely festive and chilly this morning, and that's what a lot of us are contending with. Those temperatures in the 20s, 27 at the airport in Louisville, 20 degrees for those of you in Seymour and in Salem, 25 for those of you in E-Town and Frankfurt. So, everybody's cold to start off the day, so make sure you're bundled up. Now, here's the thing. As we get into the afternoon, we will see some warmer temperatures. We will climb into those 40s for highs for this afternoon, even though we will see clouds increasing as the day goes along. So while you'll be able to use more of your sunglasses this morning, maybe not so much as we get into late afternoon and evening as the clouds continue to take over. While today will be dry, getting into tomorrow, notice rain chances going up, but that doesn't happen until after sunset. So the majority of the daytime hours for your Saturday trending on the dry side, and then it's Saturday night that we start to see more of that rain rolling our way. Notice as we get into Sunday and Monday, keeping rain chances high and temperatures on the mild side as well. So as we're heading out and about for the weekend, just make sure you're keeping a close eye on the Wave weather app, and we'll be watching that weather again as we head into your Monday morning. Shannon.
This is a unique agreement that focuses on accountability and rapid improvements without ballooning costs that could compromise other investments that our city so desperately needs.
A historic day for police reform in Louisville as Metro leaders announce they've signed a consent decree with the Department of Justice. Mayor Craig Greenberg is promising an aggressive approach to meet reform goals outlined in this consent decree. The deal will last 5 years. Portions of the agreed reforms could be taken off the table after a year if they've been met. The department will revise its use of force policies and training. It will improve its residential search warrant practices. It will also improve its handling of its stops, searches and arrests, sexual assault, and other officer misconduct cases, and its handling of public demonstrations. An independent and mutually agreed upon monitor will also be hired and on the job by spring to make independent judgments on the progress being made. The city is working on hiring that neutral monitor to make sure LMPD is aligned with the consent decree, and this person will be crucial to make sure that the department meets this aggressive timeline. Wave News reporter Marissa Burke in the studio with more this morning.
Shannon, they've already put out bids for that independent monitor. This consent decree is for 5 years. Most places don't see the changes they need until 6 or more. City leaders say that's how committed they are to the process and making the changes people want to see. LMPD has been working on reform, and this 242-page agreement will elevate those efforts. The department will have to reach certain benchmarks and requirements. The independent monitor will be reviewing data from the officer reports about who they're stopping and searching and what turned up in those incidents. From there, the monitor will make reports and track the progress like a checklist. At the press conference yesterday, the DOJ recognized some of the changes LMPD already has made.
The city banned no-knock search warrants, piloted a program to send behavioral health professionals to some 911 calls, expanded its community-based violence prevention services, and enhanced support for officers' health and wellness.
Chief Paul Humphrey will attend several community meetings next year for Louisville residents to hear more about the implementation process, and a dashboard will be available for the public to monitor that progress. If you still have questions, the DOJ will host a virtual Zoom community meeting to discuss the consent decree on Monday, December 16th at 7:30 p.m. Marissa Burke, Wave News.
Thanks, Marissa. A Louisville lawyer who represented many protesters following the death of Breonna Taylor says he is cautiously optimistic the new consent decree could bring meaningful change to LMPD. Attorney David Moore says he wants to see changes in LMPD that include more transparency and de-escalation training. He says he's hopeful this consent decree could be the start of that journey. Moore has represented hundreds of people after protests following the deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. He says he worked cases of false arrest, physical assault, and abuse, among others. And while he recognizes there are honorable and good officers among the LMPD ranks, he says they are the exception, not the norm.
I have the absolute and utmost respect for those who serve, but that is so long as they respect the law and our Constitution and the civil, constitutional, and human rights of all people, no matter who they are. That does not describe the Louisville Metro Police Department for the last 10, 15, 20 years.
Conversations surrounding a consent decree began when the Department of Justice released a report last year showing LMPD had engaged in what they called a pattern or practice of conduct that violates the U.S. Constitution and federal law. The consent decree is coming at a cost to taxpayers. The city will have to spend nearly $1.5 million in each of the first 2 years of the agreement. This will support the inspector in their work tracking progress of the consent decree. In 2022, U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland introduced budget caps to consent decrees. It comes after other cities have spent millions on the agreements. Mayor Greenberg says Louisville is ready to take on the financial cost.
We limited the amount of money that is going to be spent on an out-of-state monitor. And the good news is we've been having good economic times here at the city, thanks to our management of the city budget, to some great investment that we have made in our approach to investing. We just recently had a $16.5 million surplus. I'm very optimistic about the city's finances moving forward.
The mayor says he expects the department to be in full compliance in 5 years or less, which could save the city money. We have much more coverage on this story. You can find more reaction and the next steps for LMPD on our website, wave3.com, and also on the Wave News app. New developments in the case of a woman whose body was dumped in the Ohio River after she was shot in the head. Anthony Nichols appeared in court yesterday to face the charges of murder, tampering with physical evidence, and violating a domestic violence order. LMPD found the woman's body floating by Cox Park Tuesday. Shively police responded to a shooting at the victim's home, but they did not find anything there. The two departments worked together to find Nichols. His bond is set at $1 million. Nichols is expected to be back in court next Friday. Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell is experiencing leg stiffness after falling earlier this week. A spokesperson for the Senate Minority Leader says he worked from home yesterday. McConnell tripped and fell after a Senate GOP lunch Tuesday. He had a minor cut to his face and sprained his left wrist. McConnell had polio as a child and has had mobility issues throughout his life. Kentucky and Indiana's Attorney General are trying to stop illegal robocallers from reaching your phone. A new warning targets 4 communications companies. Both Todd Rokita and Russell Coleman are on the anti-robocall multi-state litigation task force. In a letter, the task force accuses 4 companies of allowing millions of robocall scams to be sent to phones. Findings of an investigation have been sent to the Federal Communications Commission. The letter warns if these providers continue to transmit robocalls, the task force may take legal action. Here's Tawana taking a look at the next 12 hours.
And over the next 12, we'll see more of those clouds pushing into our region gradually with highs in the 40s. Now, we will warm up over the weekend and into the beginning of next week, but that comes as we deal with multiple rounds of rain in the forecast. I'll let you know how much rain we could see with just the first system after the break.
Well, the Kentucky Expo Center is hosting their Christmas gift and decor show. It starts today at 11 o'clock. Hundreds of vendors there, so many different things, so you can get a lot of your shopping done. Josh Ninke is there live this morning, and he's been talking with some of those vendors.
Yeah, Shannon, this is really a one-stop shop. And here's a place that you've never been able to see here before. First-time vendor joining us. Denise, you guys have some fantastic stuff here.
We have a lot of variety here. We have non-tarnished jewelry. We're on aisle 600, by the way. And we're called Coochie Coo.
Yeah.
We're from near Springfield, Missouri, a little town called Fordland. But our non-tarnished jewelry is a big hit. It's our #1 seller.
Yeah.
Because people like to shower in their jewelry these days, it seems.
Make it nice and simple, yeah.
Yeah. Our daughter designs all the earrings, so they're unique. You won't find these anywhere else.
That's fantastic. These are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Lots of fantastic jewelry, but you also have some fun seasonal stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What do we got here?
Well, my husband designed these s'more sticks, and they are curved on the end. I should have had a set out. But they're curved on the end so that food doesn't go in the fire and the kids aren't wanting to poke each other.
Oh,
when they're done
that's
roasting.
smart, yeah.
Smart, isn't it? Yeah. We have 12 grandkids, so we know what they do. So my husband and I designed these. He hand makes them from start to finish, and they are a great guy gift, a great family gift.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to point out over here. You got some very cool Santa art. Pretty unique, too, because this isn't just on your standard canvas.
No, this is on old barn tin and then framed in authentic old windows, done by an artist friend of ours in southern Oklahoma. No two alike. Come to aisle 600, Coochie Coo, for all very unusual things.
That's so
and
cool.
And lots of Christmas decor.
Yeah, I love it. Guys, this, again, some very cool stuff. Aisle 600, if you want to check out all this. A reminder, this runs all the way through the weekend, so things kick off at 11 a.m. today, but they go all the way through Sunday. Free admission to come check this out. You don't want to miss it. Live here at the Expo Center, Josh Ninke, Wave News.
Thank you, Josh. Coochie Coo, that's fun to say. This is amazing. A Wisconsin pet owner got the surprise of a lifetime this week, just in time for Christmas. Dave Dexter flew to Wisconsin from Atlanta, or from Wisconsin to Atlanta, to be reunited with an old friend. There's Dave, and he's meeting the friend Rutherford. a cat. He last saw Rutherford 11.5 years ago, 806 miles away. Isn't that crazy? The Arbiter family drove Rutherford from where he was found in Dillard, Georgia, more than 800 miles away. His rescuers say he was found hurt on the side of the road, but Rutherford has been nursed back to health, and there's Rutherford. Isn't that crazy? So Rutherford was microchipped, and that had Dave's information, so that's how they were able to get in touch. But 11.5 years? That's a long time.
That is a long time. 800 miles away from home.
That cat could tell us what happened. You know?
Probably like, leave me alone. I just want to sleep.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Cute, though.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
cute. For those of you maybe giving your pets some love today, maybe pull out those sweaters, those adorable pet sweaters again today. For the weekend, though, I don't think the dogs want to be outside very much with the rain coming our way. I'll talk about that in just 30 seconds. Happy Friday. Meteorologist Tawana Andrew here with a check of your forecast. And for today, we're starting off with those cold temperatures with the majority of our region sitting in the 20s this morning. So yes, we are finding the sweaters, the jackets, the coats, all of it to stay warm across the region. 21 degrees still in Sellersburg, 23 for those of you in Fairdale. And looking into Simpsonville, you're also sitting at 23 degrees. The storm tracker has been out and about this morning, and thankfully we haven't seen any major issues on the roads, and that is the way we like it. Currently traveling across the metro, not dealing with any issues. The traffic is starting to pick up, which is expected as we approach the 7 o'clock hour. More of these upper level clouds are moving into our region, and this is all because of the stationary front that is sitting directly over wave country. And notice all of those clouds just drifting into our area from the west, and that will continue throughout the day. So yes, we'll get that filtered sunshine around as temperatures climb into the 40s for your highs for this afternoon. And actually some of these clouds will start to clear as we head into the overnight hours. This will allow temperatures to fall down into the 20s and low 30s by tomorrow morning. But the clouds will roll right back in on your Saturday morning. And that means we'll be dealing with those rounds of rain eventually coming our way. But remember, the daytime hours on your Saturday looking dry. Once the sun goes down and we get closer and closer to midnight, rain chances will start to increase and gradually become more widespread. We'll keep that going into early on your Sunday. Now, as Sunday goes along, the widespread rain moves east, but we are going to keep some scattered showers around. So even in the Sunday afternoon, we'll get some breaks from the rain here and there, but overall still going to keep some showers, some areas of drizzle in the forecast all the way into your Sunday night. Now Monday, here we go again. Another wave of energy riding right along the front that will be draped over wave country, keeping the rounds of rain in our forecast. We'll see the widespread rain moving in Monday morning, seeing that all the way into Monday night. Now Tuesday morning is when we finally start to dry out fully across the area, but that's not going to last very long. Overall, we're talking about 1 to 2 inches of widespread rain across our region. Could see some locally higher totals, though, just depending on where we see some of the heavier rainfall setting up shop over the next couple of days. And then we head into your Wednesday. Here we go again. Another system moving towards us. This one looking to bring some more of that rain, especially for those of you across Kentucky. Now, as we get into Thursday morning, things start to dry out before yet another area of low pressure just basically rides along the east coast. Now, if this track holds, we're going to keep most of the rain off towards our east, and then we'll see that potential for some snow as we get into Friday afternoon and Friday night. But of course, the timing and the tracks of these lows will be dependent on the systems before it. So don't be surprised if you start to see some changes showing up to the end of the 10-day, especially in terms of temperatures, because as of right now, we do look to see a pretty decent drop in temperatures for the end of next week, with highs only in the 20s for most of us by the following Saturday and Sunday.
Thanks, Tawana. New on Sunrise, Dano's Seasoning says it's expanding and bringing more jobs to Louisville. Dano's is establishing a new office and test kitchen on Terra Crossing Boulevard. The company says it will cost more than $4.5 million. Dano's says it will create 30 new jobs. Construction on the new operation is expected to start next month and be completed by early spring. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear wants to expand paid leave options for some state workers. The governor is proposing 6 weeks weeks of additional paid leave to eligible executive branch state employees who have serious health conditions or are welcoming a new child. The proposed leave will be funded through the existing executive branch budget. The paid leave option is expected to be available to eligible employees as early as the summer of 2025. And taking a look at the big stories we're following from around the country and the world, 2 of 3 high-profile brothers charged in sex trafficking scheme will have another hearing today. This after they went before a judge for the first time yesterday. Twins Oren and Alan Alexander, plus their older brother Tal, were named in a federal indictment alleging assaults on dozens of women. None of the brothers has entered a plea to the charges. Federal security officials are still trying to figure out what is happening with strange aircrafts in New Jersey. They say they may not be drones, and whatever they are, security agencies seem unable to explain or stop them as they evade radar and police helicopters. And the mystery has leaders from mayors to members of Congress demanding answers. And it's that time of the year for the peak of the annual Drummond Meteor Shower. The Shooting Stars event started November 19th. It's expected to peak today. The meteor shower will continue through Christmas Eve, but your best shot to see it will likely be the next 2 days. The Geminid meteor shower is best viewed during the night and pre-dawn hours. We'll have a look at your local stories in your Wake Up Watch list right after this. Taking a look at the top stories in your Wake Up Watch list. A more than 200-page federal agreement is the future of LMPD. The department and the DOJ setting new standards for officers and their service. The agreement is addressing many of the problems the Department of Justice found in a May 2023 report on LMPD and its procedures. The report says there was a pattern of discrimination, uses of excessive force, invalid searches, and violations of First Amendment rights. The consent decree included several different changes the department must make to fix those issues with a timeline of 5 years. The man found guilty of murder after hitting a family at a Louisville crosswalk could learn how long he'll spend in prison today. In October, a jury found Michael Hurley guilty on multiple charges, including murder and assault, after he crashed his car into the Jones family while they were visiting Louisville for a basketball tournament. The jury previously recommended he serve 35 years for murder and then 20 years on each count of assault in the first degree, all to run consecutively. Givaudan officials are starting a second round of cleanup of debris from yards following that massive factory explosion last month. Company representatives say the insurance assessment team inspected about 40 homes last week. A new direct number to company representatives was launched this week. We have it on wave3.com. And U of L will take on big rival UK tomorrow night in Lexington. Tip-off set for tomorrow evening at 5:15. It'll be the first meeting, too, between head coaches Pat Kelsey and Mark Pope. You can watch that game on ESPN. And the weekend is here, and how's it looking?
It is looking to be a little bit more soggy for the tail end of the weekend, not the beginning of it. Right now, we're seeing temperatures in the 20s for most of us, a little bit warmer for those of you south of the parkways. We're still seeing some low 30s. There's also 19 degrees right now in Salem, so you've dropped a little bit there. Overall, we are starting off the day with quiet conditions across the region with those upper-level clouds drifting into our area. And we'll see more of those clouds moving in as we get into the afternoon with highs today in the 40s. Here is your 10-day getting into the weekend. Starting off dry with more clouds overhead, and then we'll see the rain moving in Saturday night into Sunday, and then more rain Monday into Tuesday, and then more rain Wednesday into Thursday.
More rain.
Adding in some snow at the tail end of that, and then we'll be in the 20s for the end of next week.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know what? Sunday is a perfect day for a holiday movie, right?
Yes.
Ooh.
Holiday movie, hot chocolate.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Blankets, chili.
Oh, it sounds so good, doesn't it?
We're just going to keep throwing things out there.
Love it. Can't wait. Hope you have a great weekend. See you Monday.
Get live streaming news, 24-hour weather, investigations, podcasts, and more, all for free with Wave Now. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and the Wave News app.